Mimi medical practitioner amekuwa na kesi. Amekuwa na last year but one case. Sasa hivi namweka bado Ministry of Health. Ni ujinga gani unatuambia? Wewe kama kiwa moto. Angalia anapika moto kule. Ikami kiwa moto. Load hiyo kitu.
Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Africa Truth Media. Yes, my name is Mcoure. Yes, if you're new to my channel, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and you can also check Mcoure on YouTube. Yeah, that is my other channel. So this is particularly for political analysis and any kind of blog that comes around, right? So in this kind of video, we're going to be talking about the political activism that has been given birth by Gen Z movement. For those who don't know, Gen Z movement, if you're new to this channel, is a movement that has just erupted around a month ago because of the kind of protest that Kenya has been witnessing because of a finance bill that, you know, was being fronted by the government, and then young people really came out to say no to this kind of oppressive finance bill that was going to overtax the Kenyans. And so in the mix of all this, there's been, you know, a rise of young people who are really vocal and going out of their way to talk their issues to the government. And one of them is Kasmuel Mcoure. I don't know whether I captured the name very well. It's kind of giving me a hard time to pronounce the name, but he's one of the young people that has really challenged the Ruto government. And whenever Ruto hears about Kasmuel, let me use Kasmuel, I'm sure some kind of quivers runs down his yeah. So some people are saying that you know, with the rise of Kasmuel, you know, this is like Mboya as, you know, resurrected, because the guy is very eloquent, very vocal, and he speaks issues to the political elite. And one thing that I want to say before even I can show you or I can give you some receipts of who Kasmuel is and what he talks about, I want to say that the political elite are kind of ganging against the youths, because it's like now one side is the youth who are now saying or giving the issues that they want the government to address, and now the political elite have now come together to now kind of challenge the two forces. And that's the problem, because you find that whenever these young people were going to the streets, the issues are about corruption, the issues are about accountability when it comes to the leadership, the issues are about, you know, the government that can be able to listen and do things that are going to help the Kenyans. And now, when now they saw that this movement is gaining momentum and is going to challenge them and throw them away, and in so doing they will lose their way to power and they'll not be able to continue to oppress the Kenyans. Now they have teamed up together, the opposition and the ruling government, they have come up together to silence the young people. That is very dangerous according to me, because now the issues that were being addressed are now going to be swept under the carpet. Because when the opposition and the ruling government comes together, who is going to check the other? Because essentially the opposition is supposed to offer checks and balances to the ruling government and help to govern the country, but now they want to help to govern inside, so which means now if things of corruption that were being talked about in the movement for the Gen Zs, if corruption is going to be, there will be any kind of corruption in the government, then it means that they cannot be able to check themselves because they are part of it. So no one is going to speak and And this thing has been happening for a very long time. It's a kind of a cancer, let me say so, that is hitting this country. We started the Kibaki government when we introduced the Nusumukate. This Nusumukate between Raila and Kibaki kinda allowed corruption to thrive, and then that continued and transited to the Uhuru government. We had the handshake, and now we have this so-called broad-based government. So it's kind of like there is no time we will have the opposition checking the government. Every time the opposition, they lose their power, they look away to come into the government in the back door. So that is a problem, and according to me, we really need to check these things out. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Please comment in the comment section, let me know what you think. Is this Nusumukate thing a big problem, or is it curing the kind of government that we have? All right. So and then the other thing is that do you think that Kasmuel is Mboya of today's era? Right, so watch the video to the end.
Bedeviled this country for long. So sorry to break it to you, fellow comrades in the Catholic University of East Africa and all other school-going children, that you will never be in government because you're educated and you stand for something. Dimwits, all of you. That is what we are fighting. I need us to be alive to this reality, because that informs our now, and that will inform our what next. I used to be shy of this question, but Kenya is akin to, I would liken our beloved country to a beautiful woman in a narcissistic and abusive relationship. And asking that woman what next is after she bears her heart out to you and you tell her, wa, sauta do. It is imperative, it is incumbent upon us to, one, figure out how do we take our friend from this situation, because otherwise we run the risk of victim blaming. And a lot of the times the people who are asked what next, nowadays the more lucrative thing in my analysis is the blood of young men. Not even for rituals or anything, because you guys are not that important. I need to remind you, when you're walking around, don't you dare think that you're a human being. You're nothing in this country as a young person. We despise you and we hate you, and that is why when there are police excesses and we go on the streets, we are told, tone down. Between you and a headless chicken, I see no difference. This is how we push back. It is in the remembrance of the cruelty that this regime has meted upon us. When you remember that corruption is akin to genocide, when someone steals money that was meant for vaccines, when someone steals money that's meant for higher education, when someone steals money that's meant for food, it should anger you, because there are millions who will never get to see the light of day. We push back because of the resolve we have while saying Daima Sisi wa Kenya. We will push back because what next looks like this. We will deal circumspectly with this government. We will root it out. We will ensure that all these corrupt officials face the law. We will ensure that rogue policemen, and it has gotten to a point where we have to be very radical in our communication, in the sense that abnormal behavior during abnormal times is normal behavior. The state is trying to push young men and women to violence because they cannot reason. That is why the only way the state can deal with you is if they criminalize you, because they know they can manipulate criminal law. We push back by remembering the comrades that we have lost. We will push back because we are Kenyans, and as my sister and comrade Masita Rus would say, Kenya ni home.
Medical practitioner amekuwa na kesi amekuwa na last year but one case. Sasa hivi namweka bado Ministry of Health. Ndio ujinga gani tunatuambia? Wewe kama kiwa moto. Angalia anapika moto kule. Ikami kiwa moto. Load hiyo kitu.
Kasmuel ametokezea juu.
Siwezi simama pale. Nikisimama na kimoja. Wamenipigia kasoredi kwa mkono. Pale naona wanarusha. Sawa. Ni taxi tunakula. Hiyo si taxi tunakula. Issue that is business to our people. Right? I was your government is there. So when mimi najua kwa mimi kama maandamano na wewe zote hakuna chochote tukio. Kwa tunajua wako. Tunajua wako lakini usioni. Mimi ni mgomeni niko na wewe. Niko mbele yako. Mimi nakuchunga leo. Media wa address. Sawa.
Kwa sababu za bundle 0721 400